Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday. Race number 8 is the $100,000 Interborough. Fillies and mares going 7/8 of a mile. Let's take a look at this field. There's a big favorite on the morning line. The number 5, Betsy Blue, is 3-5 with Jose Lezcano listed to ride, and deservedly so. She just ran them all down last time out, going 3/4 in the Garland of Roses. She's won 3 of her last 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think, she's sort of a pretty substantial morning line favorite, Dan, and I think deservedly so. I mean, she has the figures. Her overall form is very good. She's coming off of a really nice win over this track last month, and she's one of those mares that just shows up every single time.
And while she rallied from last in her most recent start, the Garland of Roses, she didn't get off to the cleanest break from the rail. She's shown more tactical speed in the past. Let's see where Timeform US has her on the pace projector. They do have her at the back of the pack. I do agree with Timeform US that the 2, Miss T2, is going to get to the lead. She went 5/8 of a mile in her first start off a long layoff and couldn't get to the front. She chased a very fast pace in her Polytrack debut last time out and couldn't get to the front. This time, she's making the lead.
I thought so too. I thought the 2 and the 4 were sort of the main speeds in this race, and I think they'll be the 2 sort of up front showing the way. As you've already pointed out with the morning line favorite, Betsy Blue, she's going to be off the pace somewhere. She was coming from last in her most recent start, but if this pace isn't fast, she will not be that far away.
The number 1, Self-Isolation, also has good tactical speed. Now, she had a 3-race win streak snapped in the Grade 3 Go for Wand last time out. It was a situation probably where the wet track didn't help. The company was too tough. She did finish behind Betsy Blue, but something must have gone awry. She didn't run her race.
Yeah, she was pretty bad last time. I mean, and listen, it was a pretty significant step up in class for her as well. I realized that if she won her prior 3 starts, she went 1X, 2X, 3X, and went right through those conditions. But they weren't particularly fast races. They were really good trips for her. And last time, they didn't get aggressive with her from the start, Dan, but she was in a pretty good position early, and she came up completely empty in there. I think it calls into question just how good she is. But Jacobson's going to give her another shot in a stakes race here.
The number 2 is Miss T2, very lightly raced, considering that she's just turned 6 years old. She got very good in 2020. She popped a big Beyer speed figure when getting to the front in a race at Churchill Downs, and now she's making her 3rd start off of the layoff. I do think getting to the front helps her. Last time out, she did chase a quick pace in a race that just completely fell apart and went to closers at Turfway. I think getting to the lead helps her. She's won it a mile in the past, and if she can slow this pace down under Eric Cancel, I think she's a pace threat at a price.
I think all those things are true, Dan. I don't really have anything to add to it. It's a little bit unfortunate for her that she's endured a couple of really long layoffs because she did have some potential early on, and maybe she's starting to make her way back now. You're 100% right about her last race, though. You want to, give her a lot of leeway there. Not only was it on the all-weather, but that was a fast pace that she was chasing. She actually ran pretty well.
Linda Rice trains the favorite, the 5, Betsy Blue, but she also will saddle the 3, Piece of My Heart, coming off this win against 3rd level allowance competition, going 7/8 at Aqueduct over a sloppy track. And Piece of My Heart was on the far outside in this race, and she's going to grind them down to win. She's been in very good form since being claimed by Rice. She hit the top 3 in her first 5 starts for the barn. Lots of runner-up efforts, but it was nice to see her put this race away.
Yeah, it was nice to see her finally get back to the winner's circle. I think that snapped about a 17-race losing streak there, Dan. I think her prior 2 wins came back in 2020, so it was a long time between wins for her. And you could see from the replay there just really wasn't any running going on in that race. To her credit, she got the job done, but I still think she's pretty hard to take back off that win.
Flight to Shanghai was claimed for $40,000 by a very good trainer in Horacio De Paz off of a layoff at Laurel 2 starts back, a race where she didn't do much running, and then they threw her to the wolves a little bit in the Go for Wand, where she showed brief speed and tired. She's now going to cut back to 7, which I think is going to be okay for her. I think she'll be up close to the pace, but her recent form leaves some things to be desired.
I agree with that. I do think she'll be forward in this race, though. Maybe it'll make a difference, Dan. She's still got to find a way to improve if she's going to win this race. And she's another one who was in that Go for Wand last time, and she was just bad in that race. I know that she didn't totally give way. She held on for fourth, but she was up close to the pace in there. The horse that won the race was on the lead, and this horse never looked like she was going to win.
Betsy Blue was third in the Go for Wand. Then she cut back to 6 furlongs, and she looked good winning the Garland of Roses with a 91 Beyer speed figure. She is last turning for home. She has work to do at the 3/16, and she just blows by the leaders in the stretch. Beguine on the lead is getting tired, but she's also a pretty good horse, and Betsy Blue inhales her without much fuss.
Yeah, this is a good horse that she's running down. It was also a pretty fast and contested pace in front of Betsy Blue. So she took advantage a little here, Dan, but she also just showed up with another really strong performance. She's been in good form for a really long time for Linda Rice. She doesn't have to be that far away from the pace either. So if they slow it down, she should still be in good position. I don't know. I found it really hard to knock her.
I think Jackie Davis is going to try to get aggressive with the 6, Easy to Bless. Now, I don't know if she has the speed of the other 2 pace protagonists we were discussing, but I think they're going to try to get close, race outside, get some clean air and clear of traffic. A class is the big question for this horse. She seems to me like more of a starter handicap, starter allowance type.
I kind of look at her the same way, Dan. You can see even when she was in good form last year, they tried her in a couple of stakes races, and it just did not go well at all. She was just overmatched by them. It might be more of the same here. And you also just have to add in that she didn't run well at all last time in that Piece of My Heart race. She didn't have a bad trip in that race, and she just really failed to show up.
And she's the kind of mare that usually runs well on those sort of wet tracks, so it's something to be concerned about. Top selection time for our feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday, the Interborough. Mike's going with Betsy Blue. She is way the horse to beat, and I would not be surprised if she's a little bit closer to the pace.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick against her, Dan. I just feel like she's way the horse to beat in here. If I do take a shot against her, it'll be with your horse. I think you have the logical alternative, Miss T2, maybe on the lead.
I like the fact that she's now racing 2-3 times in a row without a layoff, which has always been a problem for her in the past. And I think this time she gets to the lead, and I think she's a need the lead type. The fraction should be easier than her last couple. 2-5-3-6 for me, 5-2-3-1 for Mike in Saturday's Interborough at Aqueduct. Good luck.